It's hard to really kind of put a number on it because there's so many variables. But, if you had to kind of use a rule of thumb, I'd say, somewhere between 10 and 25% on the employee benefits cost, right? And that's going to be the hard cost. There's other components too that need to go into that, into calculating that and the factor. Yeah. And that's the cost of administering those employee benefits, exactly. Right? And the time that gets spent doing that, right? Just yesterday, I was with an engineering firm. She has about 45 employees. And we were just walking through the steps that she has to take now outside the PEO to administer her employee benefits. One, she's got to keep track of the hiring dates, right? Because her benefits kick in about 60 days after the employee's there. So she has a manual process to make sure, and she even has somebody else help remind her to talk to the new hire 60 days after they're there to make sure they're aware of the employee benefits. And then we walk through the time that she has to spend that's right, she has to go ahead and make sure the deductions are set up in the payroll process, right, when it comes to doing that. And then, so we talked about, call it the onboarding part of the employee benefits, not to mention explaining the benefits to the new employees. Now, she's got an insurance agent that can help out, but the insurance agent isn't there and isn't always available. So here again, she ends up being the pseudo, if you will, benefits expert, even though she has like 9 other things she has to do. You kind of keep going down that road, then she has to go ahead and manage the benefit invoices, right? And for her group, they only had, 4 different coverages. So she only had 4 invoices to go ahead and reconcile. But hey, that's 4 invoices she has to reconcile. She has to make sure the employee gets added to the invoice. Then she has to go ahead and pay the invoice. And not to mention all the actions that go into place when somebody leaves the company, right? So when the employee leaves the company, then they're obligated to go ahead and send out COBRA notices, right? Then they have to make sure that the employee does send in the COBRA notices and reconcile that to the invoice. So you can see, not only is it just the hard cost savings, if you will, the volume savings, it's the amount of administration that gets saved for those small businesses.
So Ted, thank you for talking about the reduced administrative burden, because that's really what is a burden. And by the way, when you were talking about that, I was glazing over already because it's not my business. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's not my business. Like, I don't want to do that stuff. And certainly I don't want to take the risk and the liability of doing that. So I do appreciate the fact that even with my own companies, you've been able to help me all along the way, and I can just focus on what I love to do, which is build and grow my business.
And that's probably one of the biggest reasons why PEOs have grown so quickly and so fastly, and why it's such a great fit for small businesses. It allows those business owners to focus on growing their business, on running their business, not administering their business.